Should you do A-levels? Is A-levels worth it? Now, I've been getting this question a lot and I thought, you know what, let me make a video on this so you can get a better understanding of whether A-levels is right for you or not. And look, this is my take on it and how I think about these things. So I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I'm wrong. It's just something that I'll share with you. And then, you can put your thoughts down in the comments. If you want to go into university, know this, you need to do A-levels. There's no way around it. Yes, you can do B.Tech, but if you want to get into like the good universities or top universities, A-levels is the way to go. Now, people will say, but is A-levels really going to be applicable in the real world? Do you really need A-levels? Do you really need a degree in the real world? There's two sides to this. If you want to go to the traditional route, which is, you want to become a doctor, engineer, or lawyer, you have to go through the A-level and the university route because that's the only way you can then become those things. So there's no way around that. Now, if you don't know what you want to do or you have an idea of what you want to do, this is what I would say. I would still say you should do A-levels and university because I'll tell you why. I did A-levels and university, but I had no idea what A-levels I wanted to do or even the degree that I wanted to do. I was so lost. But in my mind at that time, I thought to myself, okay, I have no idea what I want to become. I have no idea what field I want to go into. But it doesn't make sense for me to say, okay, I don't want to do A-levels or university because I have nothing to fall back on. Yes, you can experiment and do all those things, but I can also do that on the side. So what I said to myself was, okay, let me do A-levels. Let me do a university degree and let me focus on my strength. With my strength in that case was maths, right? I'm quite kind of good with numbers. So I thought, okay, let me go into maths. But that doesn't mean I had like, okay, I want to go into a maths field. I never had it like that. I just said, okay, let me focus on my strength. And then I said, okay, on that, as I do that, then I could do something on the side. So what I would say to you is, if you don't know what you want to do your A-levels, do your degree, and on the side, you can still experiment. Why? Because it means that even if the side thing does not work, you still have something to fall back on. This is how you think strategically, right? Some people would just go all in straight away and say, you know what, I don't need A-levels, no degree. Okay, cool. You don't want to do that. Fine. What are you doing then? You got to understand this. You're living under your parents' roof. Okay, if you say you're going to do all those things, you need to be able to stand up on your own 2 feet. Are you able to stand up on your own 2 feet? Probably not, because you're going new into this real world, and your parents will probably, unless they're extremely understanding, they're going to be on your case for a while. Like, why are you not going to university? You're wasting your life, etc., etc. But what I would say is this, right? You can still build that side hustle. You can still experiment with different things whilst doing your A-levels in university. That's you having two things at the same time. So that means that, okay, even if it's like you can try different things on the side. Okay, I want to go into programming. Okay, programming, I tried it, doesn't work. Okay, now I'm going to go into, I don't know, something else, like, creating an online business, whatever that is. I don't know, but I'm just saying as an example, you can still experiment while still having the comfort of the university, the A-levels. And I think that's the best way to go, because you have to understand this, right? And this is the thing that people don't really think this through. They think like, oh, I don't need A-levels, I don't need university. Are you prepared to go in the real world and tackle the real world for what it is? And what I mean by this is, are you prepared to get rejected? Are you prepared to get brought down on your knees? Are you prepared to deal with the mental stress when shit does not go your way? And shit will not go your way. That is the reality of life. They don't share this shit to you, man. They just say, I'm leaving university, I'm not gonna go to university, and I'm gonna be doing this. How long are you gonna be doing that for? And also, you have to understand, you're living under your parents' roof. How long do you think until your parents had enough that they will then eventually say, okay, you need to get out now because you're not doing anything, right? Take it from me. I've done the A-level route, I've done the university route, I've done the corporate world. I did all that shit. And then I left all of that to then go and start businesses by myself, entrepreneur. And I tell you, it is very, very difficult. Like, it is extremely difficult. So you have to understand that. Be very careful when you watch things on the internet saying, oh, I'm building a side hustle. I'm making all this money from my side hustle. It's complete crap. It's not the real truth. You have to understand that, right? A lot of these people are living under parents' roof, not paying rent and all that kind of stuff, and telling you these things. Are you prepared to go through the mental struggles? Are you prepared to go through shit when things don't go your way? And how long are you prepared to go through that for? So you have to understand that it's not as simple as, oh, I'm not going to do A-levels, I'm not going to do university. You should be strategic. You can still do A-levels, you can still do university. Even if you don't know what you want to do, that is okay, because that's how I was. But when you're doing that stuff, and also you have to understand this, right? There's still a lot of good things that you can learn from A-levels and university. A lot of practical things like discipline, like a timetable, like finishing coursework, assignments. These are all discipline things that you can learn when you're doing that stuff. Because I guarantee you, if you don't have that stuff, you're not going to be disciplined enough. You're waking up early because you got school. You're waking up early because you got, sixth form. If you didn't have any of those things, would you wake up early? Would you actually kind of wake up and do, get up, get ready and go do all those things? You wouldn't. It's a timetable, it's a structure, and that's very important. It actually helps the mind. It's very, very, the way they've done this, right? Let me say this. The way they've kind of structured university A-levels is very smart. And it's very smart because as human beings, we need structure. We need something that, gets us up so that we can go and do that stuff. If we didn't have that, we would be lost. So when people say, I don't need that stuff, okay, cool. But are you disciplined to actually do all these things yourself? Most people are not. Most people will just say, oh, it's 5 o'clock or it's 6 o'clock. I'm going to sleep for another 2 hours. Discipline is not easy, right? That's the reason why a lot of people hate the word discipline. It's not easy. What university and A-level does is it gives you a structure. It gives you a timetable. It gives you discipline because it's saying to you, okay, you have exams coming up. You need to revise. You have assignments that you need to do. So you need to get that shit done. If you take A-levels and university out, are you able to put the same structure, the same discipline, the same organization to your own life by yourself? You won't. It's very difficult. It's discipline. It takes a lot of discipline and willpower to be able to do that yourself. So you have to ask yourself that question. Are you willing to do that? And even if you are, what are you doing it for? Because you haven't figured it out. People say, oh, no, I don't need A-levels and this. I'm going to go out there and try and figure it out. Why can't you figure that out yourself on the side? Why can't you figure that out whilst you're doing A-levels in university? Have both. Because at the beginning, when you're figuring out, you have nothing there on the side. There's nothing there. But as you're figuring it out, and once you figure that out and you're starting to put time there, you're going to start to realize, okay, this is your university and A-levels, right? So this is taking a lot of your time. This is your side hustle, whatever the thing. What is that? Email, man. And this is your side hustle. Okay, cool. At the beginning, it's going to be like this. The scales is going to be high on the A-levels and university because that takes more of your time. As you're starting to build your side hustle, you're figuring out what you want to do on the side, that's starting to increase. The time is starting to increase. Time increase. And then this is starting to bring more growth, to the point that when this goes higher than this, you're onto something. You know that now that side thing is starting to become bigger. Okay, cool. Now I don't need to focus so much on university. Maybe I need to focus more time on there. That's how you do things smartly, right? You don't need to just kind of say, okay, I'm not going to do A-levels and university and just kind of that's it. So when you think about doing A-levels and university, you need to think more broadly. Don't just think about, oh, it's just some subjects. It's more than that, because if you take that away, how is your normal day-to-day life going to look like? Are you going to be waking up early? Are you going to be holding yourself accountable? What did I do today that's going to take me one step closer to my goal? And are you going to be able to stay consistent for year in, year out? Because that's what it's going to take, by the way, yeah? That is what it's going to take. If you're not willing to do A-levels and university, you need to put the hard work and the hard graft in yourself. And you need to have the willpower, the discipline, and the mental fortitude to be able to carry on through the hardships that's going to come. They will come, I guarantee you that. Are you ready for that? Are you ready for the suffering? Are you ready for the hurt? Are you ready for the rejections? Are you ready for people saying, no, 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 no? That's what you're going to hear at the beginning. No, sorry, we don't want to do anything with you. We don't want any business with you. We don't want to do any of that. No, 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 no. Are you ready to take that on and on and on? Because that's what I went through. I went through no's, no, 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 left, 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 right, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. I don't know what I'm saying here. But what I'm saying is I went through a lot of no's. And you have to have the endurance and the fortitude to be able to go through that. Are you willing to do that? That's the real shit, man. That's the real shit. So that's what they don't tell you, right? When you are thinking about those kind of things, you need to also think about, okay, if I don't have that structure, can I create a structure for myself? And am I able to do that year in, year out? If you're able to do that, cool. But I would still say have both at the beginning because it will help you, right? It will help you. It will give you a bit more peace of mind. And then when that thing starts building, then you know you're onto something. When you're thinking about these things, write these things down, the pros, the cons. It will help you think more clearly. Don't just go on an emotional decision because you saw, some person saying these things and you think, okay, I'm going to do the same. Everyone is different. Everyone is wired different, but you've also got to understand the reality of the decisions that you're making. And if you're able to understand the reality and the consequences of the decisions that you're making and you're okay with that and you're willing to go through that, cool, respect, no problem. But if you're not willing to go through that, you have to ask yourself that question again and look at yourself again. So I hope this has helped you out to think about this more clearly. I just kind of shared my thoughts and the way I kind of think about these things. Put it down in the comments what you think. And if you like these kind of videos, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, because I'll be coming up with more videos that's going to help you on your day-to-day life. And remember this, everything starts from zero. When are you going to start? Peace. Yup.